Hello everyone, I'm Grego, and this is the Yes We Were Open podcast. It's a warm, sunny Wednesday afternoon. I'm walking northbound along Bank Street in Ottawa, in a neighborhood known as the Glebe, one of Ottawa's most vibrant and historic neighborhoods, located just south of downtown Ottawa along the Rideau Canal. The word glebe means church lands. Back in 1837, an area of 178 acres was deeded by the Crown to St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church. Now, by the time the area was opened for development in the 1870s, real estate agents began referring to the area as simply the Glebe. Considered one of Ottawa's first suburbs and known for its charming tree-lined streets, 20th century architecture, and proximity to Carleton University, the neighborhood is popular among families, professionals, and students alike. It has become a hotspot for boutique shopping, dining, and culture. And if you're a sports fan, look out. On the southern end of the neighborhood is Lansdowne Park, where you'll find the home of the Ottawa Redblacks of the CFL, the Ottawa 67s of the OHL, Atletico Ottawa of the Canadian Premier League, the Ottawa Blackjacks of the Canadian Elite Basketball League, the Ottawa Charge of the PWHL, and the Ottawa Rapid FC of the Northern Super League. Bank Street is the main commercial strip running north to south in the neighborhood, lined with independent shops, cozy cafes, and diverse restaurants that reflect Ottawa's multicultural flair. I'm headed to one of those restaurants now, and the subject of this week's story, Mad Radish. I walk in the door. To my immediate left is a wall with shelving displaying blue water bottles with a Mad Radish logo on them and a sign that reads "Pickup Point." This must be for takeout and delivery orders. I walk through another set of doors into a large, bright, two-story eat-in area. The floors are polished concrete, and the walls are simple white tiles. To my immediate left is the order counter and food prep area. No bright monitors showing you animated pictures of the menu items, just simple menu boards. It's a simple, clean look all around. No doubt a purposeful design choice. It's after the lunch rush, so the place is relatively quiet. I go upstairs to another eating area.
You Adam?
Yes. Hi all, nice to meet you.
That's where I meet Adam, the CEO of Mad Radish. We sit at one of the tables for his interview.
Hi, my name is Adam Tomczyk. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Mad Radish.
When did Mad Radish start?
We started in 2017. It was started by David Segal. He was the founder of David's Tea. He parted ways with David's Tea, I think 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And then at the time, his wife was studying in Boston. And they were eating at Sweet Greens in the US. He loved the healthy eating. Right. He always thought there's a gap in Canadian market for something of a high quality product that would be accessible to all Canadians, and then decided to change it. Okay. David being David, if there's a problem to be solved, he wants to change it. And he came back to Canada, started to put the team together. He worked with Stephanie Howard, who was a marketing, director at David's Tea for many years. And then they started to assemble the team. They hired a corporate chef from Toronto. And then they reached out to me. I was in the US at the time. Okay. I was with a bigger concept. And at first, when they reached out and they said, this idea to do this in Canada, I didn't really think I want to be in Canada. Been in New York, having a nice life.
Sure.
It's not something that I wanted to consider coming to Ottawa. But I came to meet them. It was the middle of winter, February, I think.
If you're going to experience Ottawa, middle of winter is when you do it.
It was a perfect time to bring me. If you want to convince somebody to move to Canada, you bring them in February to Ottawa.
No surprises.
That's it. When I landed here, I thought to myself, it cannot be any colder than this. I'm not coming here long term. I'm going to be here for a couple of days and I'm going back never again. Yeah. But then once I met David, I met Stephanie, I really liked them. David had a great vision. I love his energy. And when I went back to New York, I reflected on the conversations, the idea, the fact that we can start something from scratch. I was always part of bigger corporations, started in London, UK, moved to New York City, and it was fun. I loved it, but different excitement and different challenge when you have to start something from scratch.
Sure.
So I decided I'm gonna relocate my family to Ottawa. 2017 we came, and then we started working with Mad Radish.
When you told your family there's this opportunity up in Ottawa, what do you think about moving to Ottawa? What did they say?
My wife wasn't thrilled.
No, she wasn't really? She didn't want to leave New York City for Ottawa?
Surprise. She probably thought, all those beautiful restaurants and the lifestyle that we have in New York, do we really want to give it up for Ottawa? But she's super supportive. My wife is really the biggest support in my life. And if she sees there's a good opportunity for me and then good opportunity for the family, she will be there for us. Our daughter was, I think, 5 years old at the time when we were moving to Ottawa. We had to send her to school. So the idea of coming to Ottawa, being in a very safe place, was appealing to us. We came over.
I hope you brought them over in the winter too.
No, I waited until spring. So we came, I think, April or May.
So they came up here and said, this isn't too bad.
Oh, yeah.
And then winter happened.
My wife is Colombian, so
oh my God,
she loves this cold. No, but I think we were looking for this peaceful life.
Sure.
And I think that's what we found in Ottawa. Safety, security. People are very nice. Canadians are super nice people. So we liked it. It took us 2 years to adapt. So I think now we really call it home.
You say your wife's Colombian. What's your background?
I'm Polish.
But you said you've been to London and New York, and so you've moved around a lot
I've
for
moved
work.
around.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest passions I have in life is traveling. And I think that goes very well with what I do, because traveling allows you to learn about the cultures and taste the food.
Yeah.
And I'm big on food.
Sure.
So even when I was in London, I would go and travel to different places, come back home and start to recreate the recipes just from memory. And I loved it. I like playing with that. My wife loves cooking. It was great for both of us.
Mad Radish, great brand. Love the name. Who came up with it and why Mad Radish?
David and Stephanie were, and a couple more people that were involved at the beginning. And I think the idea was to be playful. Most of the concepts are just a little bit boring in the sense that they don't take enough risk, so they play safe. I think the idea always was to take the risk. And at the end of the day, it's our job to find what customers are going to like. And healthy food can be boring. A lot of times it lacks flavor and innovation. So I think Mad Radish is indicating that in the name. It's a little bit crazy idea, crazy vegetable that we'll put in front of you, and hopefully you're going to like it.
Why this neighborhood?
Oh, it's an amazing neighborhood. So David actually lived in this neighborhood before he moved to Toronto. And this is the heart of Ottawa. I think people in this neighborhood understand how important healthy eating can be. And Ottawa is not that big of a city, so you have few suburbs around, and this is essential Ottawa. We've been very fortunate to be here 8 years, and every year it's been better. The lease is coming up for renewal, and we're definitely gonna renew. We wanna stay in this community, so Mad Radish will definitely stay here. The core product is our hearty bowls, salads, burritos, but it started with salads. So the idea was to create salad concept that would be better than whatever was known in Canada at the time. But over time, we realized customers are not necessarily ready for only salads. It works very well in the US, it's very popular. But in Canada, I think because of the weather and the fact that we have 5-6 months of cold weather, you need something a little bit more hearty, something that's gonna warm you up and fill you up. And then we start playing with the menu a little bit more, and that's where I get involved more. We started to create something that we call hearty bowls or warm bowls. So combination of cold ingredients and warm ingredients. So almost every bowl that we have is a combination of warm rice and greens, and all our proteins are roasted in store. So we serve them hot. It's completely different type of food than you can get in some other chains. Some salad chains would serve you cold chicken that was previously frozen. How tasty is that? So I never liked that idea. And we roast our chicken from scratch. All the flavors are our flavors, our recipe. And you can tell the difference. It's nice and tender and juicy. It's beautiful chicken. I would argue it's probably one of the best you can find in a QSR business. what we're trying to create, we focus on number one, quality. Number two, simplicity. So quality comes to product and service. And so every decision related to stores, I always sort of validate based on those two things. Are we able to follow the quality of product and service? If not, then we don't do it. And the second validation is for simplicity. So how simple for execution that idea would be? Is that going to cost a lot of labor hours at the store? And whether that will be profitable for our franchisees? And if the answer is no, then we walk away, we don't do it. If the answer is yes, we continue to tweak until we get the best results. Initially, when we started, we thought about doing that corporately. And over time, we realized it's so much easier to partner with franchisees, with business owners that are accountable in the location.
Rather they have a stake in it.
That's it. So we decided going franchise will be probably better to protect the brand and inspire those franchisees to promote what Mad Radish should be about. But as we started to franchise, we have to adapt the business to franchise. So how profitable this investment can be. Because franchisees, at the end of the day, they need to fall in love with the brand, they need to fall in love with the food, and they need to love customer service. But they're doing that for a reason, and that reason is returns. So they have to have a paycheck at the end of the day.
How many locations do you have now?
So we have 11. We just signed another one. So we will be 12 by the end of the year. And the plan is to open a lot more in the future.
All of them in Ottawa?
So we have 6 in Ottawa, 5 in Toronto. And the one that we just signed now is in Toronto as well.
So you've been open now for 8 years. What would you say has been so far up until now your heyday? Like maybe your busiest year?
Busiest year?
Yeah.
In terms of sales, definitely this year.
This year? Okay.
Yeah, because we opening...
You're adding new locations. Yeah.
So every year we adding some locations. Last year there was 2 locations. This year we're going to add 1. Next year we're probably going to add more. So we're getting busier. But in terms of workload, I think every year we're getting busier because we streamlining operations.
Up next, it sounds like Adam, David, and team are off to a great start with growing Mad Radish into a national brand. But healthy food isn't generally known as being particularly fast or affordable. So how do they compete? How do they overcome these challenges? Stay tuned to find out. You're listening to Yes, We Are Open. Adam Tomczyk uprooted his entire life and family, moving them to a new country to help start Mad Radish with David's Tea founder, David Siegel. The prospect of starting something from scratch with David excited Adam, but they had an uphill climb ahead of them. How do you make healthy food fast and affordable? Adam was up to that challenge, but he couldn't have expected the global disruptions that he was about to face. What were they? Let's find out.
If I were to ask you to think of a time where Mad Radish was under the most struggle, maybe a time where it might have even threatened the business to go under, what would that be?
I think beginning of COVID. I think we were not ready for... Nobody was ready.
No.
And nobody knew what's going to happen.
Sure.
So we were concerned, number one, about how long it's going to last. Yeah. What are we going to do with the amazing team we've built over the years? Then we looked at our assortment and questioned whether that's the type of food people will choose to order if they work from home or if they stay in at home, right? Because most of the time, people are looking for comforting options when they're at home. Yeah. And Mad Radish was more designed to be on-the-go food. You go to the office, you want that healthier option, you can go to Mad Radish for healthier dinner. Very early, when COVID started, I was talking to my wife. I was eating, she put a burrito in front of me, and I was eating that burrito thinking to myself, this is really good. This is what I like to eat. And then we decided that maybe that's an idea. Maybe we should start another concept. I called David. I said, hey, there's an idea. We can create a new concept and run both of them. David picked that idea very quickly. Let's do it. I started working on the menu. Within 5 days, we developed the whole menu with how to carts, with processes, got the ingredients. Then we started working in marketing, branding, and we launched a new brand. It was Louisa's Burritos and Bowls.
Okay.
Yeah, so my wife's name is Louisa, so named it after her, since she had such a huge involvement in building the menu. Yeah. We launched it, and it was working very well.
So it wasn't launched under the Mad Radish name.
No.
It was a separate brand.
Okay. It was a separate brand. So that was working very well. Mm-hmm. And then we had huge opportunity with Mad Radish. The menu was still lacking a little bit. We had a lot of ingredients.
Sure.
And we couldn't run really two concepts at the same time. And we started to have some financial struggles as well, because over the years, we focused on innovation, on building the brand,
right,
which was necessary to get us to where we were. But at some point, we have to start generating returns. And we realized we need to change something. And I think we need to focus on operations and start to really grind the results in operations. And at that time, we had a conversation with David, who would be the best person to do it. I've always been in operations. I ran bigger volumes in different countries. So it made sense for me to take over from David as a CEO. And we did. David started another company. He gave me a lot of room to do what needs to be done in order to drive efficiencies, productivity in the business. And we've changed the menu. We combined Mad Radish and Louisa's into one concept. We removed probably 200 ingredients that we were using for production, streamlined the operations. We put everything under Mad Radish umbrella. So instead of Louisa's being separate brand, we did it as a menu extension.
As a sub-menu item kind of thing.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Suddenly you have similar ingredients used for Mad Radish, Louisa's. So Louisa always was the idea of having healthier, more interesting burritos. Because if you think about burrito, it's always the same. It's your corn, black beans, chicken, beef, whatever it is. It's heavy. We all love burritos. But you can't eat it every day. And I wanted to have a healthy burrito, but also delicious. So we've created sauces, because the key is in the sauce.
Yeah.
So we've created the most beautiful dressings and sauces for Louisa's. And then we put it in the burrito, and it was amazing. Together with our roasted chicken that we roast in the house, together with the beef, we cook our beef for 18 hours. Wow. So it's so flavorful and it's so juicy. You mix that beef with rice and other ingredients, and the Mexican Caesar dressing, it's a killer. It's so good, you want to eat it every day. And the good thing is you can, because it's still healthy.
Right.
There's so much greens and other vegetables that it's actually healthy for you. We combined both concepts. We created extension of the menu at Mad Radish, and that's what helped us increase sales significantly.
As things started opening up, another challenge that a lot of industries, especially food service, was sourcing, right? Because there's a lot of
shortages.
There's shortages in all sorts of food, and inflation, huge inflation. First of all, how hard hit were you by that, and how did you overcome that?
Oh, hard.
Yeah.
And one thing about the restaurant industry is that you're going to face a challenge every day, right? You just don't know what's coming tomorrow. It's all about flexibility. It's a very quick reaction. So how do you set up your supply network where you have enough product available to react to shortages? So I always like to have some product at the store level, a little bit at the distribution level, and the vendor level. Right. So that way I have good backup. If I know the shortage will happen, then that gives me room to react. This year, inflation was through the roof on certain products.
I was going to ask, especially with the whole tariff talk and the trade uncertainty.
It was a tough year.
Yeah.
It was definitely a tough year. Between the avian flu at the beginning of the year and the tariffs, it was scary what might happen. Two things that happened. First, you have the tariffs, you want to overcome that challenge. Yeah. So we looked at where can we purchase different product, what product will be suitable for our expectations, because we have a high expectation when it comes to quality. So not everything will qualify for us to serve. So there are some limitations, but we managed to get a list of product potential substitutes. But also we decided we don't want to buy from US. If this is the treatment we're getting as a country, we want to be 100% Canadian.
Yeah.
And we moved everything to Canada. So all the products that we buy are Canadian product. And even though it's more expensive, we had to take a hit. We found efficiencies in some other areas because there was no room for us to increase prices. Some people argue there is room. If you look at our competitor, especially in Toronto, most of them are more expensive than Mad Radish. I don't know how people can afford $20 lunch every day.
That's like a minimum, like for...
Yeah. When you're in Toronto and you want something good, it's 20 plus.
Yeah.
And I obviously have to eat competitors' food all the time. So I spend that money. And some concepts do better than others. You know, some provide very good flavors. But I know that I wouldn't be able to afford that every day. Mm-hmm. Where with Mad Radish, you can. Yeah. $16. You have combos. Our sandwiches just over $9.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And you can get full with that.
Yeah.
You have soups and bread combo. Now in November, we're going to run a campaign for $5 soups. So we're always trying to do something for the customer because it's important to us that more people will have access to this kind of food. I have 2 kids at school right now, and I looked at the school lunch program. What they're providing in schools right now, it's not healthy for kids. How do we educate kids? How do we show them early that you have to be mindful of what you put in your body?
Yeah.
And so we decided we're going to try to change that. And we've created a school lunch program. So there is 4 bowls that are available for schools to order. It starts at $5.50 per bowl. Oh. So it's cheaper than your pizza slice, but we're giving you 80 grams of freshly roasted chicken with vegetables, with rice, super flavorful. My daughter is a most picky eater, you can probably find out there. So I brought a lot of ingredients home. And I said, why don't we make some options that you would want to eat? And we start playing. And there's one bowl that we've created and it's on the menu. And that's her bowl. Every Friday when we eat Mad Radish all together, this is what she gets. Yeah. She loves it. I think we have options for everybody. Sure. And there's build your own option. Yeah. And you can decide what you want to put in that bowl. And I think we need more help from schools and parents to help us introduce that program. We're not making much profit on it, if any, because it's about being accessible and giving back. We move fast. If there's a problem, I wake up in the morning and I right away jump on the problem. I don't delay things, and my team is the same. I have a very small team working with me. Right now, it's only 5 of us. So the overhead is very small, but we utilize technology. We have very close communication with each other and we support each other. It's very important to have that kind of dynamic in order to react quickly and make changes without spending too much money on overhead.
Coming up after the break, we find out what the future holds for Mad Radish. Welcome back to Yes, We Are Open. Adam and his small but mighty team have successfully built Mad Radish into a restaurant that provides quick, delicious, healthy meals at an affordable price. They've become a staple in Ottawa, and they're making their presence known in other markets like Toronto. It seems their sights are set on growth. What does the future hold for Mad Radish? Let's find out.
What do you hope for the future of the business?
I hope to take Mad Radish to every neighborhood across the country, but do it in a different way. Because what you're seeing right now, great concepts that cannot scale. And they are run by owner-operator that works very hard in the business every single day, but has no ability to scale the business. What we have at Mad Radish is something special. We have the team that understands how to take it to the national level and how to create good opportunity for franchisees. I think what I want to see is creating a network that is creating opportunity for many families across the country, becoming owner-operators of Mad Radish, being part of a network that support you along the way, provide all the tools and systems for you to be successful, because we know what to do, we know how to do it, and we've proved this model. We operate in Ottawa, Toronto, we're going to open smaller towns across the country. And as we do, we will be able to become more accessible to a customer that can have healthier options, but also tasty. So we want to change the way people think about healthy eating, because it doesn't have to be bland. And whoever tried Mad Radish know that the flavors are bold, very intense, and very different. Bowl to bowl is a very different experience. So I think my dream is to become a national brand over time, but at the pace that will allow us to support every person that become part of the network, because other people's success is critical to me. Yeah, I care about people a lot.
What do you think your wife and kids would say about what you've built so far?
I think they love it. Yeah. I think they're very proud of it. I think my wife is the biggest supporter. You ask her any day, what would you like to eat for dinner? Mad Radish. Everywhere she goes, whoever she talks to, she always asks them if they know Mad Radish, if they had it. If no, oh my God, she will make a point to take them to that location, have a lunch with them or dinner, try it. She's a big fan.
Happy that they made the move then.
Yes, I think they're happy with what we're building here, but also happy in Canada. Canada is a beautiful place.
Looking at what you've built here in the last 8 years,
yeah,
how do you feel?
I feel that there's a lot more to do. I feel that we've done a good job so far. We focus on the right thing at the right time. And even though we spent a lot more money initially than we wanted to, it was for the right reason, and that was to learn. I think learning is critical, and we should learn every day from everybody around us, our team members, our customers, and we need to anticipate what people are looking for, what they need in order to put something new in front of them. So I'm happy with what we've accomplished so far, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to continue building that to the national level.
Thank you very much for your time today, Adam.
Thank you.
Is Mad Radish open?
Yes, we are open.
Perfect.
That's the story of Mad Radish. There are many great lessons in today's story, but I'll take two big ones that stand out for me. The first one applies to entrepreneurs who want to take their business to the next level and grow it into multiple locations or franchises. It may seem obvious, but it's surprisingly hard to accomplish, and that is to keep things simple and therefore repeatable. You can have the best product or service out there, but if you can't keep it simple, you're likely not going to be able to repeat it consistently, and then your product or service will suffer, and your customers will simply move on. I love Adam's theory that if you can't document a process or recipe in a single page, it's probably too complicated. Coming from a corporate training world myself, I can relate. We tried to keep all of our step-by-step documentation to a single page. My second takeaway from Adam's story is the idea of giving back. I think giving back to the community in which you do your business is so crucial. I love Mad Radish's school lunch program. They're taking their already existing supply chain that has been carefully built and streamlined for their business, and they're using it to give back to help feed young children and teach them the value of eating healthy. That's when Adam's business becomes his mission. And that will further fuel his passion to grow Mad Radish into a national brand. And he'll do it one bowl at a time. Yes, We Were Open is a Moneris podcast production. I'd like to thank Adam for taking the time to share his story. You can learn more about Mad Radish at madradish.com. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at eatmadradish. More information about this podcast, visit our site, yeswewereopenpodcast.com. If you'd like to support us, rate us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're a Canadian small business owner or know of one with an interesting story of perseverance to tell, I'd love to help tell it. You can contact me at podcast@moneris.com. Tune in next week for another story of small business struggle and survival on the Yes We Are Open podcast. I'm Grego. Thank you for listening.